There's a story that's floated through royal circles for years. A story so sensitive that almost no one dares repeat it above a whisper. It suggests that Meghan Markle's path into the royal world didn't begin with a charming blind date or a spark of fate romance. According to people who claim to have watched it unfold, Meghan's journey began long before Harry ever appeared. In the low-lit lounges, velvet alcoves, and hidden private rooms of Soho House, the members-only world where influence is traded like gold and the right handshake can change everything. For years, this rumor lived in silence. Too explosive, too political, too reputationally dangerous. No one wanted to suggest that Meghan's rise might have been facilitated, guided, orchestrated long before she met the prince. But insiders now say Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, long overshadowed and often pushed to the margins, may be preparing to break that silence. And according to people who claim they were around during that era, Fergie watched Meghan navigate those elite spaces. She recognized the circles Meghan moved in. She understood the ladder she climbed. And the whisper goes even further. Fergie didn't just witness a piece of it. She may have played a role. And that, they say, is what truly unsettles Meghan. Because if Sarah Ferguson ever decides to speak freely, the glossy fairy tale introduction could fall apart. Sarah Ferguson has been called many things over the decades: chaotic, scandal-prone, unpredictable, but people overlook one defining truth: she survives. Every downfall, every headline, every public shaming, she eventually re-emerges. And that is exactly why royal watchers believe Meghan underestimated her. Sources say Meghan assumed she could rise, detach, and distance herself from people once they were no longer useful. But Fergie is not the kind of person anyone simply cuts loose. She pays attention, she remembers, and she knows the royal game better than most. People who've spent time with both women say Meghan and Fergie share certain traits: ambition, intelligence, and a strategic instinct. But there's one difference that matters. Fergie has nearly 40 years inside the royal machinery. Meghan had barely stepped inside before trying to master it. And now, insiders claim Fergie is watching Meghan the way someone watches a younger version of herself, recognizing the ambition, but also recognizing the blind spots. That's where the threat becomes real. According to publishing insiders, Sarah Ferguson has been quietly discussing a new tell-all. Not a soft memoir, but something sharper, deeper, a project that could embarrass not just the monarchy, but specific individuals. And people close to the process claim Meghan's early years in elite circles, the introductions, the guidance, the people who placed her in certain rooms, may be part of that story. The palace knows this. Sources say King Charles is uneasy. He's spent the past year trying to stabilize the monarchy, especially with growing scrutiny around past scandals. The last thing he wants is Fergie lighting a match near anything tied to the Andrew era. Because of that, insiders claim he's willing to maintain peace, to quietly keep her close rather than provoke her. Prince William, however, is reportedly unmoved. Those familiar with his stance say William refuses to be pressured, that he has no skeletons Fergie can drag out, and therefore no reason to negotiate. That leaves Meghan in the most vulnerable position of all. Because if Fergie talks, she's the one with the most to lose. The public still believes the simple, polished narrative. Meghan meets Harry through a sweet introduction. Sparks fly, and a fairy tale begins, clean, romantic, effortless. But people who travel in private, elite social circles whisper a different version, that Meghan had been moving through high-level environments long before Harry entered her life. And according to those familiar with Fergie's world, Sarah recognized it instantly. She knew the people Meghan knew. She recognized the network. She understood the strategy. These connections weren't accidental, they were curated. And that's exactly why Fergie's knowledge is considered dangerous. She can supposedly trace the thread all the way back to day one. To understand the path properly, you have to return to where the doors first opened, Soho House. To the public, it's an exclusive club. To those who move inside it, it's an ecosystem. And insiders claim it was Marcus Anderson, the man often described as a connector, a gatekeeper, a placement specialist, who played a key role in helping Meghan enter certain circles. And he wasn't the only one. Wealthy circles have long whispered that billionaire Ron Burkle, a man with historic ties to both Hollywood and royal acquaintances, was another quiet figure, linked to private flights, exclusive gatherings, and networking opportunities around that time. And these names matter because Sarah Ferguson knows all of them. She's lived in these spaces for decades. She understands how introductions are brokered. She's seen how reputations are shaped. If even a portion of the whispers are true, Fergie could map Meghan's journey from Soho House lounges to invitation-only events, to the moment Harry stepped into her world. And that is the version of events the palace does not want exposed, because it turns a fairy tale into something far more strategic. This is where the story becomes deeply personal. People close to the situation claim that Sarah Ferguson once reached out to Meghan, expecting at least a cordial connection. They had mutual acquaintances, shared experiences, a similar understanding of how public life works. But Meghan never replied. No acknowledgement, no courtesy call, nothing. Sources say Meghan believed she had moved beyond certain people, that she could rise into her new life while letting older relationships fade. But Fergie is not someone who fades quietly. Those close to her say she felt dismissed, even humiliated. And for a woman who has spent her life enduring royal storms, that kind of slight is not easily forgotten. Observers say this wasn't jealousy, it was recognition. Fergie saw Meghan's ambition, the strategy, the hunger. But Meghan believed she was the only one capable of playing that game. That, insiders say, was her biggest miscalculation. Because now, Fergie allegedly holds the match. And Meghan is sitting on the powder keg. Meanwhile, the monarchy itself is divided. King Charles, cautious, weary, hoping to keep the peace. Prince William, firm, unshakable, refusing to bend. And Meghan, exposed, with no protection on either side. This is where the whispers grow darker. Some individuals claim that Meghan's early intentions weren't centered on Harry at all, but on someone with higher rank, Prince Andrew. If true, it would mean Harry wasn't Plan A. But Plan B there are also claims that one of Harry's longtime friends warned him because he allegedly knew Meghan from earlier social environments, including yacht party circles that wealthier insiders still talk about today. Even Meghan's wedding guest list reportedly raised eyebrows. Sources say certain people were intentionally excluded, individuals who allegedly knew too much or who might have triggered awkward questions if photographed near the royal aisle. These aren't social media rumors. These come from people who move in expensive rooms where reputations are currency. And if Sarah Ferguson confirms even fragments of these whispers, Meghan's carefully crafted image could crack instantly. Now we reach the moment where all the threads come together. Sarah Ferguson stands at a crossroads. Her Duchess title means little. Her royal influence has faded. Her protection is minimal. And insiders say that when someone who has survived scandal after scandal suddenly has nothing left to lose, that's when they become unpredictable. Fergie has walked through public fire before.